Okay, it is literally 1 in the morning, and today's gonna be more casual and just me kind of yapping and going on about stuff. And I don't intend to edit this, so these are all my unfiltered, unedited thoughts. But you are either gonna love this video and have so much to say about it, or feel absolutely nothing because this video is specifically intended for Swifties. That is Swiftie with a PH. I don't know why I did that like I was gonna edit in the word Swiftie with a PH. I just told you that I wasn't gonna edit this because I'm very tired from editing like 20-30 minute long videos for the past few days, and I just needed a break where I could just yap on and not worry about it. So if you too are a Swiftie, oh wait, I have a bracelet for it. It's right here. If you too are a Swiftie, I am hopefully going to hand this out to someone at the show who also is like me. Look. Then you might like this video because today I'm talking about something that I made a very short Tumblr post about like months ago, but it was my opinion about which albums of Taylor Swift's that Dan and Phil are. Now, this is a thing where people will be like, what Taylor Swift era are you? Or which Taylor Swift album are you? Because each album is really kind of like its own world. She's very much an albums artist. I mean, the whole conceit of the Eras tour is like, here are all the different versions of myself as they have existed within my work. And I think that's such an interesting thing of sort of segmenting your life into eras based off of like the art that you have created. I'm just talking about Taylor Swift now. Based off the art that you've created, yeah, she's very much an albums artist. Each one is kind of like its own world. It's great. We love this. We know this. But it is very much a thing to be like, which album are you? Me personally, at my core, I think I'm Speak Now. Always have been, always will be to some extent. And that album did help me a lot, especially when I was those ages. But in my opinion, and I'm correct about this, okay? You can leave your own arguments in the comments below, but I'm correct about this. In my opinion, Dan is Midnights and Phil is 1989. Now, let me tell you, when I was thinking about this in my mind, I came to these conclusions for a reason. I have my reasons and I'm going to present them to you today. My first evidence is the liner notes / like notes ahead of the album that's like written out. Like if you were to get the vinyls, for example, you know, it would be like the stuff you have before there. If you were to get the vinyl records, for example, you know, there's stuff to be said. There's stuff, whereas I actually don't think there is for Folklore, which is ironic because that's just the one that I pulled out. Because right now, you, as in the phone of mine that I'm recording this video on, you are sitting on top of my record player, on top of the table that I use to store all of my vinyl records. Oh no. But in my opinion, Dan is Midnights, Phil is 1989, and I will prove it to you. Let us start with the proof that I have here, which is the little foreword before Midnights. I'm going to start with this one because I think this one is particularly a stroke of genius from this brain right here, because Dan absolutely is Midnights. I want to note that I'm not doing this just based off of like color scheme or aesthetic or like, you know, visual language or iconography or whatever, okay? Because if we wanted to do this without thinking about it, you could be like, oh, Diana's Reputation, just because Reputation is black and gray. No. He's not Reputation, okay? He's not nearly vengeful enough for that, all right? Because Reputation is about like, well, it's about the destruction of your reputation, and it is a love story in the like costume of a character album, essentially. It's like a hidden love story inside of a character album, and that's what it actually is. I do think it's probably his favorite out of all of them, besides maybe like Folklore, but that's not what he is. He is Midnights. Let me read to you excerpts from the foreword that Taylor has before Midnights. all right? It's a momentary glimmer. Oh, before actually I get into this, the entire conceit of Midnights, if you were unaware, is that they are all songs about like sleepless nights throughout her life and what's keeping her up at night, what she's thinking about, her past, delving into memories. You know, why is she staying up this late? Why can't she sleep? What is it that, you know, keeps gnawing at her? And that whole conceit, that very idea of like writing around all of the things that just keep you up at night, feels very Dan. I mean, come on. That conceit in general just feels like it aligns with him very well. But to read from the foreword to you, it does say, it's a momentary glimmer of distraction, the tiniest notion of reminiscent thought that wanders off into wondering, the spark that lights a tinderbox of fixation, and now it is irreversible. The flame has caught. You're wide awake. Sometimes sleep is as evasive as happiness. Isn't it mystifying how quickly we vacillate between self-love and loathing at this hour? One moment, your life looks like a night sky of gleaming stars. The next, the fog has descended. Suddenly, you're in the town you left behind all those years ago. I just think that's interesting, you know? The boy's devastated face as he peeled out of your driveway, the family man he is now. What they all must think of you. Why can't you sleep? Maybe you lie awake in the aftershock of falling headlong into a connection that feels like some surreal cataclysmic event, like spontaneous combustion, or seeing snow falling on a tropical beach. A lavender haze crush that feels like the crash of a wave. Or was tonight the night you realized how solitary, how alone you really are? No matter how high you climb, the elevation just makes it colder. Going on with the last excerpt that I want to read to you before I read something else that'll make you go, We lie in love and in fear and in turmoil and in tears. We stare at walls and drink until they speak back. We twist in our self-made cages and pray that we aren't, right this minute, about to make some fateful life-altering mistake. This is a collection of music written in the middle of the night, a journey through terrors and sweet dreams, the floors we pace and the demons we face. For all of us who have tossed and turned and decided to keep the lanterns lit and go searching, hoping that maybe, when the clock strikes 12, we'll meet ourselves. There's a moment at the end of every day where the world falls away and you are left alone with your thoughts. A reckoning, when the things you have been pushing to the background come forward and demand your attention. Mental health is something we all have. Whether you know you're going through a tough time or feel like you are fine, it's always there, invisible, but influencing what you feel, how you react. Sometimes it can feel like a fog you're powerless to navigate through, but that's not true. You can be your own light. It's not something to be cured. There isn't one solution, but if we understand our minds, we can communicate with our consciousness and put ourselves back in control so we can really live. So the next day, you know what steps to take to make a change, and you can look after yourself the days after that. We're on this journey for a long time, and we owe it to ourselves to not just survive, but thrive. I can do it, and so can you. You will get through this night. Now, do you see what I mean? Obviously, an album is not the same thing as a mental health book. But I mean that very concept of like the night being such a thing and like trying to get through it. I think Midnights as an album is kind of interesting because it was very mysterious. We didn't fully know what it was about until we got context later on, and it was kind of mystifying, and that makes it very interesting to me. I think it delivers on its premise very well, even if I don't necessarily think it's her best, but I still really like it. There's a reason why I equate these two things. Now, to continue to provide you with my proof, I have here a list of several songs that I think are Dan coded, and I will read them off to you and read you a few lyrics so you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, number 1, we have Lavender Haze. We also have Maroon, Antihero, Snow on the Beach. Of course, You're on Your Own, Kid, Sweet Nothing, the one that I don't need to explain, and the one song that probably immediately came to mind for you, Mastermind. Dear Reader, which I actually think is like as much Dan coded as Mastermind is. And finally, Hits Different, because I have to include it. I mean, it's called Hits Different. But I firstly wanted to talk about Lavender Haze, because Lavender Haze is a song about like the rest of the world is just being really confusing right now, and, you know, people are constantly talking about me. I'm a public figure, but I just want to sort of, you know, like, I don't want to pay attention to any of that. I just want to be in this lavender haze with my lover. And it's like, I can just not pay attention to any of that, but it's like a sort of fog. I don't know. It's interesting. The lyrics that I specifically wanted to read out to you were staring at the ceiling with you. Yes, I've been under scrutiny. You handle it beautifully. All this shit is new to me. I think this applies. I find it dizzying. They're bringing up my history. Talk your talk and go viral. I just need this love spiral. I just want to stay in that lavender haze. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. That's one that I feel applies. Next we have my favorite off of the album, Maroon. No, actually, What If Coulda Shoulda is my favorite. Maroon is my second favorite. Maroon in particular, I think the beginning fits very well. We have lyrics like, when the morning came, we were cleaning incense off your vinyl shelf because we lost track of time again. Laughing with my feet in your lap, like you were my closest friend. How'd we end up on the floor anyway, you say? Your roommate's cheap-ass screw-top rosé, that's how. I see you every day now. And I chose you, the one I was dancing with in New York, no shoes. Looked up at the sky and it was... I'm gonna try and refrain from singing. It's really hard to read out lyrics and not try and do it in like the rhythm of the song, or just like kind of sneakily do the melody. Antihero was a song that I'm just moving on. Antihero was a song that initially I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's so Dan. And then I looked through the lyrics and I was like, no. Taylor's kind of self-loathing and Dan's kind of self-loathing are kind of different from one another. However, there were a few lyrics that jumped out to me. Like, of course, the iconic opening of, I have this thing where I get older but just never wiser. Ugh. I felt that. Everyone felt that. I feel like Dan also felt that. I think he probably thinks this about himself sometimes, but actually, from at least the time that we have known him, he has grown a lot wiser and matured quite a bit, to the point where it really genuinely impresses me, you know, like, damn. People grow up, you know? Sorry, it's like 1 a.m. I don't have any energy anymore. We also have, I just really like this lyric, when my depression works the graveyard shift, all of the people I've ghosted stand there in the room. Yes, I love the imagery here. This also feels very Dan to me. It really does. Just that when my depression works the graveyard shift, why does that feel so Dan to me? All the people I've ghosted stand there in the room, and then in the music video, it cutting to literally people dressed up as like sheet ghosts. That feels so Dan to me for some reason. I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices. I end up in crisis. This feels very him to me. Of course, the classic, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. And it must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. I feel like that one really fits. I know I'm not explaining these a lot, but I think you get it. I think you get it. Snow on the beach, right? I have a few lyrics here for you to think about. Life is emotionally abusive, and time can't stop me quite like you did. And it's like snow at the beach. Weird but fucking beautiful. Flying in a dream, stars by the pocketful. You wanting me tonight feels impossible, but it's coming down, no sound, it's all around. Like snow on the beach. This song has such a like ethereal, like misty sort of quality to it, which does genuinely feel like you're just awake at night, like I am right now. I've never seen someone lit from within, blurring out my periphery. My smile is like I won a contest, and to hide that would be so dishonest. And it's fine to fake it till you make it, till you do, till it's true. That feels very Dan to me. That whole thing about the smile, I don't know, it feels like, I guess like when his career was taking off, you know? It feels like that one fits a lot. I can't speak, afraid to jinx it. I don't even dare to wish it, but your eyes are flying saucers from another planet. Now I'm all for you like Janet. Can this be a real thing, can it? I think it fits. I know I'm not explaining these, but I mean, come on. You get it. You get it. Oh, next we have You're on Your Own, Kid, which this one, it makes me think a lot, when we're thinking about it in this context, it makes me think a lot of teenage Dan. and what he's told us that he went through at that time. You're on Your Own, Kid is also a song that's really, really important and special to me specifically because it's helped me a lot. It's like one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. It's like definitely in my top 5. I haven't ranked them, but like it probably would be. Like there was a particular day that was really hard on me, and I literally played this song like 15 times in a row, and you know what? And I cried the whole time, and you know what? I felt better. I did. I felt better, and I almost tear up basically every time that I listen to this song. I have to skip it, not because I don't like it, but because it's like too much for me. But yeah, basically the whole song. Summer went away, still the yearning stays. I play it cool with the best of them. I touch my phone as if it's your face. I didn't choose this town, I dream of getting out. I see the great escape, so long Daisy May. Something different bloomed, writing in my room. I play my songs in the parking lot. I'll run away. I search the party of better bodies just to learn that my dreams aren't rare. You're on your own, kid. You always have been. The jokes weren't funny. I took the money. My friends from home don't know what to say. I looked around in a blood-soaked gown and saw something they can't take away. That's us. That's us. Taylor meant that as us, the Swifties. But also, something they can't take away. That's us. Because there were pages turned with the bridges burned. Everything you lose is a step you take. So make the friendship bracelets. Take the moment and taste it. You've got no reason to be afraid. You're on your own, kid. Yeah, you can face this. You're on your own, kid. You always have been. This whole song feels very Dan to me. I think he would probably like it as well. I don't know. I always want to hear his music opinions. I liked hearing them back in the day, and I'm sad we don't get them as often anymore, but I would want to. Next on my list is Sweet Nothing. Lyrics I have from this. I spy with my little tired eye, tiny as a firefly, a pebble that we picked up last July. I just think it's very cute. It's very sweet. It's obviously that like, I'm just gonna go home to you. Who cares what anybody else thinks? That kind of a thing. You know, this is talking about the pebble. Down deep inside your pocket, we almost forgot it. Does it ever miss Wicklow sometimes? They said the end is coming. Everyone's up to something. I find myself running home to your sweet nothings. Outside, they're pushing, shoving. You're in the kitchen humming. All that you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. Industry disruptors and soul deconstructors and smooth-talking hucksters out glad-handing each other. These lyrics are kind of hard to read. And the voices that implore, you should be doing more. All you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. I mean, come on. Do I even need to explain it? I could, but that would take longer. Sweet nothing. That one makes complete and total sense, especially that last part, and the voices that implore you should be doing more. But to you, I must admit, I'm too soft for all of it. I didn't include that, but I know what the lyric is. All you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. And I think that's really important. And then, of course, we have the Dan Howell song right here. Mastermind. I mean, come on now. I could read off literally the entire song. But I shan't. I shall not. But I could, but I will not. For Mastermind, I'm going to read not all, but a good amount of these lyrics. What if I told you none of it was accidental? And the first night that you saw me, nothing was gonna stop me. I laid the groundwork, and then, just like clockwork, the dominoes cascaded in a line. What if I told you I'm a mastermind? And now you're mine. It was all by design, 'cause I'm a mastermind. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm telling you guys, I don't even need to explain this to you. Strategy sets the scene for the tale. I'm the wind in our free-flowing sails and the liquor in our cocktails. What if I told you none of it was accidental, and the first night that you saw me, I knew I wanted your body? I just wanted to include that because I think the lyric change is cute. In the chorus. Oh, and the bridge as well. No one wanted to play with me as a little kid, so I've been scheming like a criminal ever since, to make them love me and make it seem effortless. This is the first time I felt the need to confess. And I swear, I'm only cryptic and Machiavellian because I care. I love that lyric also, I have to say. The way this bridge is constructed also is so good, and the way the song builds to it. It's good. Yes, of course. this is the Dan song right here. They're like, yeah, but I'm gonna do this, and I will completely go after this because I'm deciding to. I'm the wind in our free flowing sails and the liquor in our cocktails. Exactly. But I especially love the last chorus here, which I also think fits really well. So I told you none of it was accidental, and the first night that you saw me, nothing was gonna stop me. I laid the groundwork and then saw a wide smirk on your face. You knew the entire time. You knew that I'm a mastermind, and now you're mine. Yeah, all you did was smile, 'cause I'm a mastermind. Next up, we have the song that I actually think is just as like Dan coded as Mastermind is. It's very, very Dan to me. And that's Dear Reader. I would argue that other than Mastermind, it's probably the most Dan song on the album. Dear Reader is really like a, you've been listening to me this whole time. You've been listening to everything I've been saying, but you need to know who I am and what I've been through. And I'm going to tell you now, and I'm going to give you advice, but you need to know who it's coming from. Lyrics that jump out to me are, Dear Reader, if it feels like a trap, you're already in one. Never take advice from someone who's falling apart. Now this is particularly interesting to me because we literally are taking advice from him, but it's after he was no longer falling apart. Interesting things to think about there. Bend when you can, snap when you have to. You don't have to answer just because they asked you. The greatest of luxuries is your secrets. When you aim at the devil, make sure you don't miss. So I wander through these nights. I prefer hiding in plain sight. My fourth drink in my hand, these desperate prayers of a cursed man, spilling out to you for free. But darling, darling, please, you wouldn't take my word for it if you knew who was talking. You should find another guiding light, but I shine so bright. I don't know, this song just feels very Dan to me. I think he's probably at a later point in his journey than this song is in hers, but it's so interesting to me. I could write a whole other thing about it. It's so interesting to think about it from this perspective. Dear Reader feels very much like a Dan song. And then the last one for Minutes that I wanted to talk about is Hits Different. Because I had to include it. I mean, it's called Hits Different. All in all, I don't really think it fits him that well. The main thing I wanted to say when talking about these is, of course, it's not going to be like a one-to-one comparison. Nothing is going to perfectly fit. There's a reason why I'm only reading out some lyrics. Not everything applies because they are different people. They've been through different scenarios and experiences. But Hits Different doesn't really fit because it's kind of sort of a breakup song. No, it is. It's like a reflecting on a past relationship song, pretty much. Especially with the added context we have now that we know what Midnights was really about. But I wanted to include some stuff from Hits Different because it's cute and I like the song. Like, for example, I pictured you with other girls in love, then threw up on the street. I mean, yeah. This lyric also, I don't think necessarily can be compared to like a specific Dan moment, but it feels very him for some reason. I slur your name till someone puts me in a car. I stopped receiving invitations. I also just love that lyric. It's so vivid. Oh, this also felt very Dan to me. I find the artifacts, cried over a hat, cursed the space that I needed. Why do I feel like that would legitimately happen to him? Like he'd come across some random object that just really sends him back into a memory and just reminds him of something, and then he thinks too hard about it and assigns meaning to it that he would, outside of this moment, cynically be like, humans and coping with existence just assign meaning to random things, but actually life doesn't mean anything, except in this moment, he is like assigning meaning to this random thing and then cries over it. And then it's like, has this whole like thing about how this actually relates to this, and it's like, I feel like that would so happen to him. So I find the artifacts, cried over a hat, curse the space that I needed. Come on, man. That is a Dan lyric right there. Also, argumentative, antithetical dream girl. Tell me that's not him. Tell me it's not him. It hits different because it's you. Exactly. So I've decided that this part, see how long I can yap, is the Dan part. So stay tuned for what I am about to upload just now, which is the fill part. And like I said, these are my unfiltered thoughts, because I realized making 10 videos within the span of 10 days is actually a lot of work, especially when I haven't made videos consistently for 4 years. Like the last time I did was the pandemic, when I had literally nothing else to do. So thank you for watching, if you've watched until now. Thank you so much, and I hope you agree with me, and leave your own arguments in the comments below, and stay tuned for the fill version of this video, which is being uploaded literally right now. I'll see you there. Oh my god, I've been counting down the days. This is what I've been doing. I've been counting down the days until Terrible Influence by uploading a dead info related video every single day. That's what I'm doing. This is meant for day 6? No, it's meant for day 5. It's meant for day 5. The next one will be meant for day 4 because it's the next day. So this is meant for October 7th. So that's what this video is for. If you like this video, subscribe, do all those things. Okay, bye.